You guys, we gotta talk. First of all, happy Monday to you and happy Thursday to me. Today is the day for my big vendor event that I'm doing at Mothfire, and I'm so excited. So I have to get all of this stuff done today though, before I can um enjoy, and then I have to go shoot out to Ann Arbor and then set up and then do the bookstore. But I have great bookstore news because I just got accepted into Ingram. Guys, I'm so happy. Sometimes I forget that I'm a legit business, and that sounds really sad, but sometimes I do. And I think it's because I don't feel confident in calling myself that, or just simply because, it's not easy. And because I haven't made a certain profit, I think I just downplay myself. Because if I'm like, oh, I'm a business, and they're like, oh, how much you make a year or whatever, I just am like, wrong, wrong question to ask. So I am excited to finally be able to buy indie author books straight from the source. And this is going to be really big for my business. I am not going to be using Ingram to buy these popular books. That's just not my vibe. It will make business. It makes good business sense. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't. It does make good business sense, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to advocate and support indie authors. And that is just so important to me. And so that's where my current goal is. But it was not an easy task, and getting to it was so exciting. And it's just another amazing step to get me to where I want to be, and also to get me to where I can continuously help indie authors. So if you guys haven't shopped my indie author bookstore, something is wrong with you. No, I'm just kidding. But I definitely say go check it out. With this ability, I have the ability to get even more indie authors. And that makes me really excited because that just opens the door for me. And now I don't have to contact some of the indie authors. I'm still going to do it both ways. I'm still going to do it whether they're on Ingram Distribution or whether they're not on Ingram Distribution. But this is also important to me. Second note, my books are now on Ingram Distribution. I'm winning. I am having a winning era. I'm just in a good vibe today. I went to a meditation yesterday night, and I was via Zoom, and it was amazing. It was giving me everything that I needed, and I'm just feeling in such a good place today. And I'm excited for the pop-up. I'm excited to get to see all of you guys, and we all get to experience this together. So we're just vibing. It's super hot outside though, but we're just vibing. So we're going to run that jam. We're going to run that intro and then get right into it. Looking for your next favorite author, your next obsession, or just a room full of people who get it? Then you need to be at the Pages Against the Patriarchy event on June 27th. This is a virtual event featuring 20 incredible authors coming together for a day of books, conversation, community, and stories that challenge the world around us. Whether you love romance, fantasy, sci-fi, indie gems, or books that leave you staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., there's going to be something for you. Come hang out with the passionate readers, discover new authors, and celebrate storytelling that takes up space unapologetically. Again, that's Pages Against the Patriarchy, happening virtually on June 27th, featuring 20 authors. For more information, head to pagesagainstthepatriarchy.com. Bring your TBR list. It's about to get reckless. Hey, Unbothered fam, and welcome back to another episode of Basically Unbothered. And I'm basically elated. So we're excited. We're also showing new merch. Hold on. Look at her. She's cute. She says unbothered, and she has our unbothered bunnies because we're all just unbothered bunnies. We're being basically unbothered, which means that we're really just kind of bothered because today we got shit. We got shit to talk about. And I can't I can't wait to get into it. There's so many things going on all at the same time, always, and it's dizzying sometimes because it's like, what the fuck, guys? Internet, world, WTF? What are we actually doing here? And there's so much. I don't have a lot of pop culture. My Taylor Frankie Paul stuff has been pretty minimal. I did see some of the court stuff. I'm glad the girls aren't fighting anymore. I'm glad Taylor's enjoying her home. I'm so happy that, she has this golf cart and she's just driving in her golf cart and just like a happy girl. Like I love that for her. I truly, genuinely love that for her. I think that like it's where she needs to be in life. And I'm so excited that she's found that place to be. Other than that, maybe the world is just giving me a break. Maybe the world is like, she actually needs a break from all of this Taylor Frankie Paul BS. And as I'm just going to say thank you because I do. But I found a new messy girl. So I love messy women. I think women should be more messy. I know your guys are gonna have fucking feelings about that, but I really do. Um, Simply because women are taught to be so like bottled up and like or button up, and they're like we're judged from every like micro action that we make. And the girls that we accept are the girls that look like they're perfect and they aren't in drama. And I'm just not interested in catering to that belief about women. That's just so fucking untrue. And I don't want to only like shine light on the women who are just perfect. Like it's just not me. I like messy women. I think that women should be messier. Um Personally, um problematic women change things. Problematic women are living what most women are actually living through. And that's the reason why we have a problem with them as a society is that we don't like the realness about it and like fuck it. Now I don't like stupid problematic women. I don't like people who just are starting drama for no reason, but I'm not going to get mad at a girl for having a background of like trauma or abuse or whatever. And for her acting and responding based on that, like that's just not fucking fair. Truly and honestly, it's not fucking fair. And usually because most of the time it comes from the patriarchy or like a man has done something to her and her behavior is different solely because of that. I'm just never going to be the person that's going to cancel that out. So if you have a problem with that, too fucking bad. That being said, our first topic is us getting into this V12 drama. So I don't know how this shit fell on my timeline. Cause y'all know I get most of my like topics from my timeline. And most of my timeline isn't even about drama. I've just been really into like sea otters. Ugh. Oh, they're so cute. I watched a video of them like literally using their paws as hands and handing their toys to clean up. Oh, or I love Mars, the pygmy hippo. He's getting so big now, but I still love Mars. Dwayne, the giraffe. I loved him too, but he's moved on. Like those are the things that I am usually looking at, or other book talk stuff for book talk. That being said, sometimes my TikTok gives me drama. This time it gave me this V12 drama. And if you guys don't know, so basically V12 is this like club in Atlanta and it's ran by this guy, Vinny. And he went viral, or like it went viral-ish for how he was talking to a girl. I think she was like late, but she was late because she had family issues and people were like, oh, how dare you like not be understanding. That's how it started. And then I was like, oh, let me look into this. What I found was disgusting. First of all, apparently there was another employee or former employee that was like, oh, honey, I couldn't work there anymore. The way that they talked to us, the way that things that they required from us. And, like it was dead in there. Like we weren't making any money, but we were required all these things. And so it's interesting. So basically Vinny's the owner of this V12 place. He is a gay black male. And don't anybody come like that's just what he is. And it's important because I'll come back to it later. He owns this place and he basically comes in and does shift checks with these girls. So he records it, which is it's part of the reason why it's icky to me is that he records doing these shift checks with these girls. And part of the shift check is he looks at the clothes, he makes sure their clothes are nice and ironed, which is weird because this place doesn't give fine dining and the expectations aren't fine dining, but like the expectation when you go into this place, because I've looked at videos and people being like, the food's not that great, people usually aren't here. It's not giving fine dining, but he's giving like, I want this to be fine dining as, but like fine dining with a touch of, what's the word I want to say? Is fine dining with a touch of risque, speakeasy kind of vibe. So the girls are in like a white button up and then they have like a heart shaped corset over it. And then they have kind of like the performative, I don't want to call them underwear, but like bottoms that like barely cover your cheeks, and they have stockings and boots. And they're supposed to keep their like pens and stuff right in their boobs, which is an issue for me. If you're gonna design this uniform, design a uniform where women don't have to pull shit from their bra to take care of the customers. That's just weird. And that just like gives I don't work in the industry vibe. I've worked in the industry for a very long time. It's weird. So he does these fit checks, and it's the way that he talks to them. And my biggest issue is that when he's doing it, he's having them twirl around, and they're not like just inspection like they're just so like that he wants to come to that, and he's running it like a drill sergeant. I could fucking never. I could fucking never. And let's be clear, if he wasn't a gay male, this would be a bigger like he's only getting away with this because he's a gay male. And I think that is not okay. Exploiting women is exploiting women, whether you're straight or gay or whatever you identify as. You can exploit women regardless. And it's a bad look. Like, if I have to have a woman inspect me when I'm going through the airport or anything like that, that should be the things that you're implementing in your business as well. Like, you should not be the one examining these women. You need to have a woman present or a woman that's doing the examining. That's like just off rip, because the way that you're looking them, whether you're gay or straight or whatever, is not okay. The way that the way he talks to them is not okay. And he records the whole thing and he talks to them like production. And I'm like, oh my God, get this man off my motherfucking screen. It makes me so angry because it's once again a black male bringing women down, black women bringing black women down, exploiting black women. And it's like, it doesn't matter your orientation. Why the fuck are you doing this? And I'm not saying all men are bad, and I'm not saying all black men are bad. I'm just saying I'm tired of this specific pattern. Like, let's break this pattern. I hate seeing this pattern, and I hate seeing it on social media, because when it's on social media, it makes you feel like that's okay. And like, people are going to watch this shit and are aspiring to open their own restaurant or whatever, nightclub, and they're going to think like this is the way that you should talk to people. And it's just not. Like, I work at a brewery. We talk to each other with respect. We have conversations with each other with respect. If something's wrong with my uniform, they come to me and they talk to me with respect. Even in the military, like, it irritated me a little bit, but at least the person that was coming to check me was a woman. I feel like the person who should have an issue of it was a woman, but that's a different story. Like, there are clear HR issues here, and these women have a huge HR complaint. Like, just because you have the money to run a restaurant does not mean that you should fucking be running a restaurant. I mean, that's my opinion. I could go for days. I just want to stop seeing it. My timeline. I legitimately, and I want us to like get over this like need once again, to expect and inspect, there we go, inspect women and make them feel bad about themselves for entertainment. Because again, if he was doing this privately, would it still be shitty? Absolutely. But even worse is he's doing this for entertainment, and he's not doing this for these women. He's doing it for himself. He's using these women and how he talks to them as a way to promote himself. And also, honey, your outfits, like some of his outfits eat and are super cute. It's clear that he wants to be the star of the show. That's another wrong, don't do it in the industry, because the star of the show should always be your servers, your bartenders, your host, whatever. Like, that should be it. The fact that he wants to catch people doing things wrong, like he wants them to fail. He doesn't want them to succeed, because if they succeed, that doesn't make good TV. That doesn't make good TikToks. It's just, but like some of his outfits, they're not it. Like, I'm gonna need you to not be it. And there's this thing about like specific gay identities. Like, again, not all gay identities, but there's a specific trope. It came out, what is it? The couples therapy. Oh, my couples therapy, when I get to watch those clips, it's beautiful. But there was a conversation about Maeve, and Maeve has now transitioned. Before that, Maeve was not transitioned, and was a man, but we refer to her as Maeve now. And Maeve's partner, and while Maeve's partner was identified as a woman, and I don't know her, whatever, so we're just gonna call her a woman. While Maeve's partner was a woman, Maeve was not at that time. And people kind of talked about how he was treating her terribly because he really just wanted to be a woman. And he was kind of jealous because she got to be a woman. And at that time, he didn't. And this is kind of how I feel about this. Like, it's giving like you just want to be a girl. Love that for you. Do it. But don't spend your time bringing down other women in the process of that. Like, it's just not okay with me. Our next topic, we don't have a lot going on today. That's probably because I've just been so busy. I have so many things in the works. I got a book signing. I'm planning my next indie author. I got the Pages Against the Patriarchy. It's a lot going on. The next thing is Alessia Cara came out with a giant desk concert. And we learned as the viewers that she applied for Tiny Desk Concert a couple of times and they told her no. And most of the people are assuming that they're telling her no because they don't think that she's like big enough or good enough to do it, which is weird because she is a Grammy Award winning singer and her music may not be as big. But someone also noted that Tiny Desk Concert, you know, was never supposed to be just for like these big artists, but it was always meant to give the smaller artists like a spot to be seen too. And there have been a lot of artists who started on Tiny Desk that were smaller and kind of grew. And that's a conversation about like why is it when Tiny Desk is getting bigger that you only want to have the bigger audiences? Like, I don't understand that. I have my podcast. I intend to highlight smaller voices, and I intend to highlight smaller voices regardless. Now, will I have some bigger voices on here? Maybe. But my goal is for these smaller voices. And no matter how big I get, that's never gonna change. Why does that change your philosophy when you get bigger? Like, why do you think that you then have to like level up? If you're built on giving a platform to all performers, big or small, then be that way. We don't know the reason why Tiny Desk didn't allow Alessia Cara or Alessia Cara, however you say it, to be on their show, but we know that they did. Her response is a very me response. Her response is, okay, fuck it. You won't let me be on this show. Whatever. I'm going to make my own. That's a me vibe all the way. Okay. You won't let me do something? That's great. Okay. That's fine. I'm just going to do it myself. And if you're mad about it, too fucking bad, you probably should have let me do it in the first place. I haven't watched it yet. I've seen clips of it and I'm very excited. She does do Here, which is her like big song that like blew her up. And she made a comment. I want to see if I can find it. I saved it. I saved it, guys. Did I save it? Or did I just like it? Damn it. I just liked it, which means that we're going to have to go through a longer list. Okay. So there we go. It looks like a vibe. Okay. But it's interesting. But this is her talking about it. She's sitting pretty on your mood board. Like, yes, go the fuck off. Again, we are not allowing people to determine where we can get in life simply because they won't allow us in a room. If you want to allow us in a room, we're just going to break the room down. We'll break the motherfucking door down and then be very happy with that. Like, for me and my business stuff, bookstores won't let me in. I'm an African American author who doesn't write in a traditionally African American genre. And I write fantasy and I write dystopian and sci-fi. And a lot of people are going like, there's so many African American authors that are sci-fi. There are, but there's so many other ones that get pressed down because we're not doing what we're meant to do. And I had a meeting with someone yesterday and she was like, you're like an alt girl. And I am. I've always thought about this. If I were to ever become a sensational singer, my genre would probably be alternative. That's right where my voice fits in too perfectly. Like that's music that I love. That's where I would be. I don't know if I'm ever getting my voice back. So that may be like a conversation that we'll never need to know. But it's there. But no, we don't need to limit ourselves to these rooms that other people create. We can just create our own room. That's what I've been doing a lot recently is that you're not going to give me an opportunity. I'm going to go somewhere else and I'm going to create one. You're not going to give any authors an opportunity. I'm going to go do something else and I'm going to create one. I'm going to continue to show up and I'm not going to let what other people think or say determine me. And I'm not going to let what other people think or say determine where I can go in my career, anything. Like that's just, I'm not interested in it. I am not abiding by rules and I'm not letting anybody determine what I can and cannot do. I'm just not interested in it. And I love that Alessia Cara set this example for us because more of us need to remind ourselves that the doors that don't open for us doesn't mean that there aren't doors that won't open for us. It just means that we need to break down some or we need to start creating our own. I've created my own. I've created an indie author bookstore where my books can sell and other indie author books can sell. I've created my own podcast where I can voice these things and talk about things where other people might not have like been able to hear it, or I probably, my podcast might not have been, I would have submitted it to somebody. Like I'm doing this myself and I love people who remain indie. Russ is a good example of people who are indie. Russ is an indie. He produces all his own shit and he's big. And, Macklemore was another name and there's so many others. Apparently Drake is about to be indie. I think Kesha's doing indie. Like there's so many people now who notice that you can do it without having a big backing. And that's something that we couldn't do a decade ago. And that's one of the beautiful things about social media is that there are so many problems with it, but also we now have the ability to profit off of these platforms and get to really build the life that we want to build. And I'm going to take every advantage that I can in that. And Alessia Cara is doing too. She posted it to her like TikTok and we're already at 519,000 likes a day ago. I don't even know how much the Tiny Desk is getting, but everybody is talking about it. And I don't know how much her Tiny Desk would have gotten. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're excited, but now she has a narrative. I wasn't allowed in Tiny Desk. So here I am making my own vibe. And that's taking your story and owning it and letting it like open up the doors for you to get to where you want to go. All right, let me see if we have anything else to talk about. We got Ariana Grande. We got Ariana Grande, guys. Okay. I said I was going to watch the music video with you guys live. Also, it's growing on me. I love the song so much more now. I didn't think that I was going to, but I really, truly, honestly do. I'm enjoying the song. It's such a, when summer feels so boppy and everybody wants to be like high level, it's something that like my energy craves listening to. And I'm really enjoying, like, I get home or like I get in my car after work. And the thing that I want to do is listen to that song immediately after. I hear it in my head all the time. So we're going to watch the music video and we're gonna go. Doom, 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 doom. Oh no, why did it give me the lyric one? I don't want the lyric one. That's the one I want. Ooh, bold letters. I already love that it feels so cinematic. Like, I love that. And turn this. Somebody is being buried. Who is he burying? Okay. Dark-haired Ariana. Yes. Oh shit. Oh, there she goes again. Hey, that I made you love. Okay, her makeup in this, though, guys, is fucking fantastic. And the concept is amazing. I wonder what's going on with these composition books. He just set the whole house on fire. This man is walking in burnt to crisp into a random diner. I love the fact that his body is like still smoking a bit. Okay, now he's digging again. He's happy. He's hit the bottom. Oh, he locked her down in like a cellar. But then he buried it like a grave. This is interesting. And she escaped. Hey guys, that music video was everything. It was everything. Oh, it was so good. Why is it that good? So the whole song is supposed to be like commenting on parasocial relationships and how people become so obsessed with these celebrities. But then they feel like they're owed something, or they judge these celebrities all the time based off of like frivolous, stupid shit. And it's the way that this music video gave everything. I love the cinematography in it. I love the colors. I love how he was like, so like, it really showed obsession, because even after he's like buried her and locked her in this tomb, he literally can't like get her out of his mind. Like, he's done the most heinous thing and he cannot stop his obsession with her. And his obsession is the thing that is his downfall in the end of this music video. And that is such a I'm gonna have to digest this a little bit more, and I'll give you guys more about how I feel about it. But that was giving me everything that I needed. It's definitely worth. I want to watch it again. I want it to continuously play on a loop over and over and over again. It was just so good. Okay, for our main topic of the day, we are going to be watching Love Island. Quick pause, because if you love dark stories that don't flinch, Olympic War isn't a soft love story. It's violent, it's chosen, and it costs everything. Through war, betrayal, and survival, Moonstone fights for devotion that refuses to die. This is a Black, multicultural dystopian series about power, sacrifice, and what rises from the ashes. Olympic War and Phoenix War. Read them wherever books are sold. I know I said I wasn't going to do it. I did, but on a podcast that you guys get to hear later on, we were having a conversation about how enjoyable it is for people to share these like parasocial relationships in a positive way with other people watching shows that they're watching, and how exciting it is to get to like communicate with a group of people and have like a group of people that's like doing the same thing as you or into the same thing as you. And I was like, that's fair. So we're going to watch it. I'm going to preface this by Love Island is not my typical show. It's messy. There's so much drama. There's so much drama all the fucking time. Like, why do we need this in our lives? I've given up like drama reality TV show because I just don't. I just don't need that much drama. And it's manufactured drama, which is like, this is the most unrealistic / realistic love dating like reality TV show. They manufacture these problems. The whole point of being on this show is essentially to have a problem. Like, let that sink in. They're not putting you on the show because they want you to find love. They're putting you on the show because they want you to be messy. And honey, it is messy. Also, it's a little gross. This season starts off with them just making out with everybody in the beginning, all at once, like a group orgy make out. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for this. I've literally been skipping past the make out parts because they're just gross to me. Swapping sweat with everybody is not my vibe. I don't understand it. I don't understand why people are so interested in it. Are you guys not worried about diseases? Or from what I heard, they're already getting cold sores. Maybe not have everybody make out with everybody all the time on a hot, humid, isolated island. Maybe, just maybe. But let's start pulling up some of these people on this show so we can kind of get to talk about what it's feeling like. What's the vibe? What's going on? So we get our original cast. Our original cast is this girl who got kicked off. First of all, having someone get kicked off immediately is a wild take. Like, it's a wild take that happened. That's like crazy to me because, and I say this all the time, Love Island is looking at these people not because they want them to, you know, be like upstanding citizens. No, they're looking at these people because what they really want for these people is to simply cause drama. So the original cast is Anaya, Beatriz, Kinsey, Melanie, Trinity, Bryce, Casey, Sean, Sincere, and Zach. We're going to be going through, today is Thursday, June 11th, daytime. We're going to be going through all the episodes that happened on Tuesday last week, all the way up to the episodes that happened this recent Tuesday, June 9th. I'm giving you guys this because I'm going to say things and you're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, guys, I'm not about to watch Love Island on a Sunday night and then record an entire pod. I did that with Traders. It was too much for me. It was legitimately too much for me. And there's too many fucking episodes a week. So we're going to go through all of this kind of the way it is. First of all, how do I feel about people? I like Anaya. I think Anaya is cool. I don't necessarily like her weave. Personally, I don't like the part in it. This is like a me thing. I don't like the angles that those specific weaves kind of give you. That's her vibe. I also don't like her makeup sometimes, but I also have to think that like they go to this island with like all of their stuff and their skin's going to get darker and that's going to make their makeup look weird. So, but Anaya is a sweetheart. She's so cute and like non-problematic and I love that. On the other side is Beatriz or Bea. Girl. She the opposite. She me. But worse. She's so opinionated and I love her like directness and straightforwardness, but she's definitely giving guys girl and not girls girl just from the energy that she's giving. And sometimes I like it and sometimes I really don't. But there was a situation where Gabrielle was going and talking to other people and, you know, she's just like, he's going to do whatever the fuck he's going to do. I can't control that. Like, I have no control over any of these things. So if he wants to go talk to people, that's fine. That's him. I'm going to keep my shit going. So I really love that. And I really loved her energy. Melanie is my favorite. And you guys are going to be like, Melanie's the problematic one. Yeah. But she's also being like micro gaslit this entire time. And we're going to get into that later with her relationship with Sincere. But some of the things that you guys think are issues is actually Sincere just being insincere. And let's talk about him. Sincere, his name is like this name that's just sarcastic because he's really truly not fucking sincere at all. And he's sincere sometimes with his like insecurities and his emotions and that, but he is always playing a game. And he wants Melanie to take accountability for all the things that she's done. And he uses his insecurity as a weapon for that. But he then turns around and acts like a child and lies and is sneaky. He's giving Aaron from season 6. I'm not feeling it. Trinity is so cute and I love her and I want her to leave Bryce. Bryce is not cute. And like when they had the men in black and white, I was like, okay, I can see that. But Bryce isn't cute. And also, I'm not. Bryce gives, I'm on drugs, which is interesting because Bryce is a model. So that kind of makes sense. But he's not the vibe. He is not the vibe. And he's just chill, but he's just so awkward. And watching him and is like running his hand through his hair, which is unconditioned as fuck. I just want to like throw water and conditioner in his hair and be like, sit. Cause his hair is just always a mess. And I just want like, baby, like Trinity, like give your man a deep condition, hot conditioned treatment. Casey, he's giving Soulja Boy vibes. I look at him and I see Soulja Boy and this bowl haircut that he has for his like fade. No. And his personality is pretty chill. I like his personality. I really do. He kind of rubbed me the wrong way at first. And there was a situation when they were playing a challenge and everybody picked like cat dog and he picked plant. And he's like, I thought that was going to be like edgy. And they were like, no. I did feel really bad that he was the one that was kind of left standing and nobody picked him. That was really sad. But him and Anaya seemed to be doing well until this last challenge because I watched the Tuesday episode and that was interesting. I love Sean. Sean is so sweet. Sean, like I want Sean and Sincere's name to swap because Sincere sucks and Sean is so sincere and like honest and like, hey, I'm here and I'm here for the vibe. And I love that. I don't like Zach. There are times where I do like Zach, but Zach gives real like fuckboy energy. Like I'm into this, but I'm not really into this. I like this person, but commitment scares me. He's the clear example of like commitment phobe. And all of these people are like beautiful examples of different type of people that you would date in your life. Like Anaya and Trinity are giving secure attachments. Specifically Trinity. Anaya is starting to peep some of KC's stuff. So it's not giving me like an insecure attachment. She's giving me like, I'm going to speak how I feel. Melanie is clearly an insecure attachment. She is clearly anxiety. She speaks about it. She says that, she's had so many people do her wrong and she's like never been with a good guy. Honey, Sincere is not a good guy. He's just not. I mean, like, I'm not saying he's a bad person, but he's not a good person for her to date. Melanie needs someone who's going to make, like both of them, honestly. Melanie needs someone who's going to make her feel very safe and secure in a relationship. And Sincere doesn't do that. And Melanie is a playful, fun, spirited girl. And she really just wants to have fun. And she needs someone who can be like, secure in their connection and know that like if she goes wild in a challenge, but specifically in that challenge, it doesn't really mean anything. She's just having fun. And like that's the part that really frustrates me is that with Melanie and Sincere, when Sincere does something, it's usually like outside of a challenge and it's, not for the fun of it or, Melanie has her feelings about it, but she's very good at acknowledging where she's gone wrong and like trying to make up for it. And it's really sad to see her do that with Sincere while Sincere kind of is like manipulating this a little bit. He's low key like tearing her down a little bit at a time and making her question herself and all of the people around her because it's clear they want to make Melanie like the villain of this season and she just isn't. But like everybody's kind of making comments about her and these are 20-year-olds and they're here for the fun. Like even if we're like together, if you're like making out with someone in a challenge, that's kind of the point. And like for you then to use that against her and then go make out with somebody else outside of a challenge, that's that's like that's the problem. Like she's having fun in a semi-respectful way because the challenges are different. And was she doing a little too much when she was jumping when the new bombshell came in? Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. But it was just fun. It like she's a girl who just likes to have fun and it can't be taken so seriously. And Sincere cannot handle that. Sincere is so insecure. It's he's so insecure. Like I don't know how you guys don't see this. He's so insecure. I hate it. Um, but then we start to get some more people. So more people that came into the villa. We got Gabrielle, who's I think was like the first one to come into the villa and kind of shake things up. Oh, Gabrielle and no, it was Gabrielle. And from what I can see, he was supposed to be a part of the like original cast, but they had to switch it up because of it. Which because Vasana got kicked off. But we have Gabrielle come in and we have what is her name? Anaya? No, Anaya. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I have to look this up. Kata. There we go. Kata. Um, and Kata's just, they come in and they kind of shake things up after everybody kind of bunches up together. And the first, like outside of that challenge, when everybody kind of joined in, they were like, are you joining these connections because you're attracted to them or because you like the chemistry or you found something and you're just like, you've met this person for one day. You're legitimately just doing it because of these things. Like, chill the fuck out. But when they do the next challenge and they have everybody like stand behind the doors, that was diabolical. And that left our girl Kenzie and Sean kind of isolated. I love Kenzie and Sean, both of them. They're very nice. They're very sweet. But I don't think the show would survive without Melanie. That's just my take. But you get Anaya and you get Gabrielle. Gabrielle gives fuckboy. Gabriel gives fuckboy. And he ends up with Beatrice and like I mean like they seem to work really well together. I love the fact that they can speak Spanish together and he speaks Portuguese and it's like really cool. Um but these last couple of episodes he's been giving fuckboy. Um, and then we have Corbin who came in, and Corbin low-key took my boy Sean's spot, which is really sad. I'm so upset. I want Sean back. How do we bring Sean back? Because the fact that Crusty Bryce, is still on here. By the way, outside of Caleb, who just got here, Bryce has been the only white boy that was on the scene. And he's just not giving the caliber of white boy that I would have wanted for this show. He's just, I don't know. There's something about him. His energy is off. He seems like he doesn't really take care of himself. He literally like kind of looks like he's going through a withdrawal. It's kind of interesting. And he's like a model, but he's not modeling enough because he also fixes garbage truck. It's weird. And then we also get to meet Jen and Soul in the last episode. Soul is beautiful. Soul is gorgeous, but Soul is a little messy. But she should be. With a body like that, you and you can get away with that. Jen is sweeter. I think I have feelings about Soul simply because of their like interactions, her interaction with Sincere, but I'm not going to blame Soul because it's not Soul's responsibility to hold up that it was 100% unsincere. So we're going to get into some of my feelings now that we've kind of gone into all that. We're going to get some of my feelings from watching these last couple episodes. First, everybody was making such a big deal that they weren't chosen to stay committed in the thing. And I don't know if it's tunnel vision because these experiments they're so hard because what's happening is that you're in this like microcosm and you can't talk to your family, you can't talk to your friends, and like the relationships that you have with these people then become these big serious relationships. cool and valid. But the issue becomes like, what do you do when they're just, everything is just so heightened? And so a day they were together and then they don't choose them the next day and they're like really upset. And I understand. I love the way Deshaun handled it, and I love the way that Beatriz handled it because they were very like, look, that wasn't my intent to hurt you. This is just that. But Zach is just the way that he handled the situation, like he says on screen how like he wants to be upfront with her, but I don't think he's actually, or he says even to the boys like, oh, I don't want to be closed off and she's not normally my type and yada yada yada. And he really wasn't feeling her, but he didn't really give her the full like play. And that's another reason why this situation is so fucked sometimes because Love Island is still a game show. So not only do these people want to make connections, they have to make connections to stay on. So everybody feels like an heightened insecurity in general because in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, if I don't, if I'm not performative, if I'm not this, then I might get kicked off the show. If I don't have a couple, if people don't like me, I'm gonna get kicked off the show. And that inherently has to make you feel like really self-conscious. And it's so like I don't understand. I can't understand the way that Kinsey was like acting, but I love that she stood on business. I love that she was like, "Nope, Zach did this to me, and I'm just not gonna talk to him." Yes, yes, Queen, keep that up. I don't like how Sean was like, "Well, that makes me feel like she's really insecure, childish." It's not childish. It's not childish to feel disrespected by someone and not want to engage with them. Like that's not child. Some of these things again, they're young and they don't understand. But some of the things that they kind of throw out is weird, but it comes from such a young, pretty privileged existence that they can't comprehend some of these things that are going on. I saw someone that was like, all of these people are used to being the prettiest people in the room and they have to be confronted with now there's all of the pretty people in the room and that also has to destroy like your mentality a little bit and your self-confidence. And I think that's also one of the reasons why Sincere is feeling the way that he is because he's looking around and he's used to being the shit, and there's a whole bunch of people that are the shit. So that was my first thing. It's We already talked about how Beatrice's energy is just a little weird. Let's get into the like thing. So at first I was like, is Melly the new crash out? I don't think she is. I think she's having a genuine, understandable reaction. And I think that us watching this show, we forget how hard it must be for them. And usually when what happened with Bea and Melanie, usually when that happens, you have to you go home and you call your friend and you're like, can you believe this happened? And they're like, no, girl. And you have that voice where you can like vent it out. But here you're stuck and there's a camera in your face all the time. So you're being examined and you know that the way that you react to the situation is going to be the way that people judge you. And so when, um, when Corbin came on and Melanie was so excited. And like, I feel this is so shitty. We're making Melanie feel so bad about being excited for new opportunities and to get to know new people. And then when she goes and talks to those new people, she's usually like chill and like, yeah, I really like Sincere. I'm still open, but like, she's talking about Sincere. And anyways, so when they check her about the fact that she was leaning forward, that was such a weird interaction. And I was watching a TikTok and I saved it because I want to give this person credit. So hold on. I really truly want to give this person credit if I can find it. No. And then it's gone. Oh no, here we go. The creator was Tell the Bees, and he was kind of talking about their interaction as well and people feeling like they need to check someone. And I don't understand why Beatrice feels like she needs to check Melanie for every action like you. And she's like, when I'm with my friends, I check my friends. And I'm like, I don't. When I'm with my friends, I know who my friends are. I already know how they're gonna act. Unless they're acting a fucking fool and embarrassing me, I'm gonna let them do whatever they want to do. Like, we don't need to check our friends all the time on the little things. Like, it could have simply been like, hey, next time, can you like keep Kinsey in mind? And it would have been like, okay. But Beatrice took it upon herself to be like the enforcer. And the enforcer of only the set of rules that she has in her own head. And that is the issue when we're trying to check people. We're not checking people based on like a general thing. We're checking people based on the vision that we have in our head that people should behave like. And that was the biggest issue here, was that she felt like Melanie wasn't behaving properly. And Melanie is just like an excited, fun, happy girl. And it hurt me when she said, maybe I'm just too much. Like, that broke my whole spirit. And I have a feeling that this whole thing is just going to break her down. And it's not what I want, but like, it's Love Island, guys. That really hurt me to see though. And for her to just belittle herself even more just to kind of please everybody was just really sucky. But, you know, when Bea checks her, which is highly confrontational, and immediately Melanie goes, and this is the problem with a lot of people on this island. Immediately Melanie goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, that's not my intent. I'll apologize to Kinsey. Like, I'm so sorry that I got in front of you. I just like eye contact. And it just wasn't good enough for Bea. It just wasn't good enough for her. And she kept going down. And she just wanted to be this enforcer. And so she kept pushing until we got to the place where it's like, let it go. And she wouldn't. And then she says, I just want you to take accountability. First of all, it's not your job to make her take accountability for something that didn't happen against you. It's the person who it happened to who needs the accountability. You don't fucking need the accountability. For what? It didn't happen to you. Unless you felt like you were slighted. But you're defining it as you feel like it was Kinsey who was slighted and the people who were sitting next to her who was slighted. So why do you need her to take accountability? You don't. Let it the fuck go. And when she was like, but I did. And she's like, no, but I need you to. I understand that whole thing. And I also understand when Melanie was talking about it and she was like, it was really hard because in my mind, I'm like, you can't get mad about it. You have to keep your shit together. That's such a like Black thing. And from what I understand, Melanie is a Latina. So let's look that up. She's Dominican. So she's an Afro. Um, we can consider like a Caribbean. Um, and like the concept that you have to keep your mind right and you can't go crazy, like that's a Black coded thing. Like, I can't act this way because if I act this way, I'm gonna look like an angry and people are gonna read it wrong. And for her to be sad and to cry about that, like, that's something that all Black women could feel. I mean, all women in general, but like especially women of color, especially brown women, could feel like, I can't react to this the way that anybody else could normally react to it. And I think that's the other issue, is that she is continuously overcorrecting because she doesn't want to come off a certain way as um an Afro Dominican is what I'm gonna call her. But or just a Dominican, but there's a differentiation in all of that. That's a different conversation. But I really felt that, and I think a lot of like Black girls really felt that hard. Now they may still judge her, but like, I resonate with her so much and her experience so much and her being so young and having some of the experience that she probably had and then coming on here. I resonated with that heavy, and it made me really sad to see her like have to walk away. And then people make fun of her like, just give me 10, just give me 10. And obviously they played that over. Like, you can clearly see them playing that over to make it seem like she was saying it more. But it was just like a chant for her to calm down. Like, I need a moment. I need a moment. I do the same thing. I need a moment. I need a moment. I need a moment. And for her to break down and be like, I'm so angry, but I can't do anything about it. That was really sad to see. And then my last topic is about Zach. or my last topic before we get to the what happened is about Zach and why is Zach so wishy-washy? And he basically told Jen and Soul. By the way, Soul is actually what I wanted to name my son, spelled exactly like that. So I'm vibing with her in that way. But when he told her, like, I'm basically closed off, and then he tells Kata, yeah, I told him that I was basically closed off. And then he comes around and says, oh, wait, actually, from what I said yesterday, nix that. We're not closed off. I don't want to do that so early. He is so afraid of commitment. He is so afraid of commitment, even on this show. Like, and the way that they're moving, legitimately, honestly, the way that Melanie moves in challenges is probably just her pure natural energy. But the way that she moves outside of the challenges says so much to me. I'm looking at not how people move in challenges, but how people move outside of challenges. And there are people that are on my shit list. So let me go through my shit list. Beatrice, sometimes I love her, sometimes I don't. She's not on my shit list. Casey, you're on notice. You're on notice because you seem like, even from the moment where you're like, I chose plants because I have plants, I don't like animals, and I thought it'd be edgy, you seem a little performative and you getting a little hyped up. Um, Zach, you're on my shit list. Soul, you're not really on my shit list, but like, kinda. I don't like the moves, the kisses, and the stuff like that. Corbin was almost on my shit list, but then he like rectified himself and he was like, yeah, when you come in as a bombshell, you feel some type of way. And then, like, I'm so sorry when he said that to Kinsey, like, I'm so sorry. And it has never happened again. Corbin is good in my book, but some of these other people starting to act a little questionable. And although I love Beatrice's mentality, actually, you know what? She's going to be on my shit list. Although I love Beatrice's mentality, I don't like how she's so hyper critical of Melanie. And when they had their conversation, it was clear that she's hypercritical of Melanie because she wants to behave that way and she can't access that energy. And so the only way for her to like figure it out is to be critical of it. And Sincere. Sincere, you got your own little special place at the top of my pyramid. On the top of my pyramid is Sincere. I actually love that. We're gonna do that. It is Sincere, and solely because he's just so revengeful. And he was like, "Oh, I felt like you were doing too much here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get my lick back, and then get my lick back again, and then be like." Here's the interesting thing. Someone said like. Melanie played in his face, but he's playing behind her back. And to me, what's worse is playing behind her back. Because if I'm doing this in front of your face, you know my personality, you know who I am, you know who I can move from, you know how to move from here. But when Sincere's like gaslighting the fuck out of her, oh, it was only one kiss, it's two kisses on several occasions, and y'all were about to be like straight humping on each other. No, thank you. Sincere, you have reached the top of my shit list for this week on the podcast. Thank you very much. It ended with a vote of who do we think the bombshells should get linked up with. I want Soul to actually get linked up with Sincere. I don't think they make it a great couple at all. Like I didn't think that Kinsey and Sean actually made a great couple at all. But I want Soul to get linked up with Sincere because I want our girl Melanie to get another chance with somebody else. Um, I wish Sean was still here because I would love Melanie and Sean to get like a vibe. Um, I want Jen. I don't know who I want Jen to be with. Huh. Actually, Bryce. Actually, let's have Jen get with Bryce so that we can free our girl Trinity from crusty Bryce. And then Trinity can end up with somebody else or Trinity can end up with Corbin. And although I really like Kinsey and Corbin together, but I have a feeling that people are going to put Kinsey and Caleb together just because they're like, that's the thing. So we shall see. There's an episode that comes on tonight. I'm going to watch it later on. And then I think there's like a Sunday, Friday, Sunday. There's a lot of episodes, but we will keep it updated. I will keep you updated. And that is it. It was a long one, but thank you guys for being here. And thank you for listening to Basically Unbothered. And I will see you next time. Bye. Gabby Gabs podcast.